It was an active day of weather across Kentucky on Thursday, and as we head into Friday, we go from severe to snow. Welcome to the Bluegrass Weather Report. I'm Meteorologist Shane Smith. It is Friday, January 13th, 2023. Hope you're doing well, and let's get right to it, friends. We had a very busy day of weather across the Bluegrass, and we saw a lot of rain, some severe weather, and we've got a cold front on top of us right now. It's continuing to bring showers to eastern Kentucky late on this Thursday evening as we get ready to roll the clock to Friday the 13th. But this is just part of a very large storm system which rocked the eastern half of the U.S. today, bringing severe weather down to the deep south, bringing a horrific tornado outbreak across portions of Alabama and Georgia, and we even had some tornadoes here in Kentucky. In fact, 3 confirmed tornadoes, one in Mercer County, one in Henry County, and one in Ballard County out in far western Kentucky. So a very busy day of weather. We had several reports of gusty winds, some reports of hail, an unusual January severe weather event, but you guys that have lived in Kentucky for any time know that we can have severe weather year-round in the Bluegrass state. But severe weather in the winter oftentimes leads to snow, and that's going to be the case especially for our friends in far southeast Kentucky. Back in some of my old stomping grounds from my WYMT days, Pike County, Letcher County, Harlan County, and Bell County, you folks are under a winter weather advisory Friday morning through Saturday morning because you're going to see snow, and you're going to see enough snow to cause some slick travel conditions. Is it going to be a ton of snow? No, but up on those higher elevations, we could see enough to cause some problems. So let's talk about what the weather's going to do. Let's go to the weather models. We're going to go to the GFS first. Look at the big picture as that big storm system continues to head up the east coast. We're going to kick in a northerly wind and start bringing in some moisture off the Great Lakes. And one thing to pay very close attention to, the Great Lakes are still not frozen. You know, we had that big cold snap in December right before Christmas, but since then we've been mild, so the lakes have not froze over yet. There's a lot of moisture we can tap into, and that could create some feeder band snows, that lake enhanced snow, and that could cause some big time snow squalls to fire up. Not a ton of accumulation with them, but could create some hazardous driving conditions, low visibility, and some quick light accumulation, maybe an inch or two in some spots. Now, by Saturday afternoon, most of that should wrap up as high pressure builds back in, and then we actually stay kind of dry through Monday evening. I think that's when our next chance of rain will roll into the Commonwealth. Another area of low pressure. This one not looking as impressive. Just some rain, some mild temperatures, and then we'll look for another storm system. This one also has the potential of being severe next Thursday. That's something we're going to keep a close eye on. But let's talk about the short term. Everybody wants to talk about the snow. Here is one of the best models for tracking snow in Kentucky, and that's the high resolution rapid refresh. We're going to go to 4 o'clock this morning. Scattered snow showers developing. We're just going to take you hour by hour through the day. So 7 a.m. you're heading out to work right along the I-75 corridor, scattered snow showers. Snow showers eastern Kentucky, snow showers western Kentucky. Not wall to wall, very hit or miss, but where it starts coming down, it could be heavy at times. Notice some of those deeper blues there along the I-65 corridor by noon. Those are indicative of some of those snow squalls, and trying to pinpoint where they set up is going to be a very last minute thing. It's going to be a nowcasting event. We're going to have to see where those bands set up, but where they do set up, we could get some quick accumulations and some quick heavy bursts of snow that could cause low visibility. Now you see by Saturday morning, the HRRR says we are mainly done. So how much snow could we see? Let's take a look at some of the other models. Well, the HRRR, the snowfall forecast, showing, excuse me, generally less than an inch for most of the state. Anywhere you start to get in the blues, that's an inch to 2 inches, and those deeper blues start going 2 to 4 inches. So for most of us, not a lot, but some of those pockets where those heavy bands set up, maybe a quick inch or two. There will likely be some melting though, because the ground has been so warm lately. Now, this is going to fall fast enough that it should overcome that in some spots, but once it stops snowing, the snow should start melting until that ground cools off a little bit more. Now, as far as best chances of sustained accumulation, I think that's going to be in the high terrain along the Virginia border above 2,000 feet. Let's go to the NAM model. Very similar. Trying to pick up on a couple of those lake-enhanced bands setting up. This one trying to paint it from about Winchester down through portions of Lee, Owsley, Breathitt County, Morgan County, into Buckhorn and Perry County, Leslie County, down towards Harlan and Letcher counties, and we won't talk about how much it's showing up on the top of Black Mountain, but I think that may be a little overdone, but it wouldn't surprise me if Black Mountain does pick up about 6 inches from this event. The European model, a little bit more conservative, generally less than 1/4 of an inch, showing a little bit more in far southeast Kentucky, a general 1 to 3 inches, with the pocket there in the higher elevations, heavier than that. GFS model, trying to pick up on some of those bands, but once again, generally less than an inch, 1 to 2 inches far southeastern Kentucky, a little bit more in the higher elevations. And the short range ensemble forecast, this takes a bunch of the short range models, blends them together, does a few changes and variations, and spits out kind of an average forecast. And it's showing for most of the state, especially west of I-65, next to nothing. Between I-65 and the eastern border of Kentucky, generally less than an inch, and then a little bit more up into the higher elevations. So everybody's probably asking, okay, Shane, what is your forecast? Here we go. For my friends west of I-65, this includes Bowling Green, Paducah, Madisonville, Owensboro. Sorry about your luck, folks. If you live east of I-65, there is a chance you get up to an inch, but